Welcome once again to Minions and Misfits, the off-kilter TTRPG podcast where instead of playing your archetypal heroes, we play the Minions and Misfits. In this case, the NPCs populating the D&D starter town of Pearlsfield. But instead of playing D&D, we are of course playing Good Society, a Jane Austen-inspired storytelling game. And as always, I am joined by my benevolent co-hosts, Sam.
Hello!
Cam.
Benevolent is a strong word.
And Dylan.
Hello.
I was not expecting to go first, hence my very odd hello.
We gotta keep it interesting, gotta mix it up.
Yeah. Straight up, Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello!
Hello there.
Hello there.
Yeah, I always end up defaulting to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Oh, I don't think so.
Am I still charmed by a not vampire?
You are still charmed by definitely not a vampire. We're going to be hopping back into the party this episode. So if you, for some reason, are listening to this very story-centered podcast, starting with this episode, you should go back to
First off, what's wrong with you?
Go back to chapter 1.
Or better yet, start here and then write us a story leading up to this point.
Ooh. Now, I would be okay with that.
That'd be pretty sick. Today, instead of a little improv exercise, I'm going to do a little soapbox. Instead of doing some world building, we're going to be talking about building your world.
A whole new world.
Last chapter, we introduced the best butler ever, Radigan, who is a swarm of rats inside. We said a trench coat, but I imagine it as like a nice butler suit.
Like a suit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes the little rats that you play the hands are in white gloves.
Or they're just white rats.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're just white
So
rats.
cute.
I need fan art immediately of Radigan.
Yes. Now, we all know rats and mice are beautiful, wonderful creatures that deserve
love
all the
them.
respect and love.
Unless you're my wife, who hates them with a passion.
They're better than snakes.
Most things are.
I love snakes.
Snakes
too.
are awesome.
Snakes are really cool.
The serpent?
They just don't care about you.
Neither do cats, though, to be fair, so...
Just respect them. You respect the snake. It never loves you.
There was one time I was at a nature center and I literally sat in a rocking chair for 30 minutes and I just had a snake in my lap and I was just putting one hand in front of the other and he just kept on going. It was very relaxing.
Best.
I saw one on the road today and I hit it and it survived.
You monster.
Oh, they're inkillable.
I helped one across the road the other day.
Now, one of my sisters has, like, 3 snakes.
It's actually, at least in some states, like ours, illegal to kill snakes.
Yeah. Which state are you in?
I'll never tell.
Well, good thing I didn't kill it.
That's attempted manslaughter. Snake slaughter.
Snake slaughter. But with
The next
rats and
NPC
mice,
town is Snake Slaughter.
that's the western. That's the western. Hey, psst, hey Cam, tuck that away if you do
Cam,
a
you
western.
wanna-
a
you wanna
western
write that down?
game.
Write that down real quick about snake slaughter.
The town of
Pencil.
Snake slaughter.
Scribbles furiously.
But yes, it's understandable that you might not want non-pet rodents in your home. So there's nothing wrong with trapping, but if you use traps to eliminate rodents, never, ever use poison or sticky traps.
Yep, they're
Use
literally the worst.
Literally the worst. Use catch and release or snap traps. Here's why. Sticky traps are just evil. Think about it. They get stuck there, and then what you gonna do?
And starve to death.
They either starve to death, they bite off their own legs, or you throw them in the trash, kill them yourself.
Alive?
They're evil, and a lot of other things get trapped in them. Poison often leads to secondhand poisoning, and it's also ineffective.
Also, never use those if you have children in the house.
Never. Or pets.
Yeah.
Or just don't use them. Snap traps, it may not be fun to have to deal with a
It's
dead
at
mouse
least
body,
merciful.
but it's merciful. And you can actually tell if it's working. And you don't end up killing a bunch of birds or children or foxes or whatever else.
And if you want a fun other alternative to the snap trap, use the old 1854 patent for the revolver.
I know, I was about to say that. That is the one to use.
As an asterisk, I did see an interesting video about a beekeeper, I think in Japan, who was using glue traps to kill those horrifying giant hornets that will
Those things are the
murder
worst.
entire hives of bees.
Whoa.
So that was cool.
Yeah, hornets are a pest, and there's nothing good about them.
Why are we talking about all this again?
Because Radigan.
Yeah.
This is
The
all
PSA.
just about... We're having a whole conversation
About Radigan.
What does this have to do with table? You know what?
Let's
can't
start
say
the
anything.
chapter.
I can't say anything because I did a whole show about Anna Kendrick.
It's true. You have no leg to stand on, sir.
I have done.
I will use my platform to spread the good word.
Don't
Fade out.
protest too much.
Catch and release is great.
We have faded
Also-
out.
That's what we use exclusively.
Also related, I made a post the other day where I said, despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. And then in parentheses, I said, well-fed, comfortable, with some toys to keep me entertained.
Chapter 5. Putting Out Fires. So when we last left off, Ephraim and Niles had just finished a very tense conversation and were walking back into the parlor room, the sitting room,
Oh, yeah.
where jaunty dancing music had begun to be tinkled out on the piano keys. When the two gentlemen...
By Radigan.
That would be beautiful. But no, he is following Ephraim's orders to try to sneakily snatch some purses, or at lejust the contents within. At the piano is Georgiana.
That makes sense.
Playing that song from Pride and Prejudice.
I just imagine like that's what I imagine. Just classic anachronistic music.
Right.
Some dancing has begun with most of the rest of the party guests. You know, Pride and Prejudice stuff is what they did.
Yeah.
And what we should do now. Fun line dances with your friends at parties.
We're not copyright struck now, dang it.
What is Frederick doing at this moment?
Oh, I stand up and immediately grab Vlad and start dancing with him.
Who leads?
He does. I pick him up, but he
Glad,
leads.
obviously.
Obviously. Somehow, even when partners switch, Frederick still ends up with Vlad. No one seems to really want to dance with him too much.
Right.
Now, Niles. Niles is a priest. And if I...
Do priests dance?
Yes. But if I recall correctly, the priest's NPC sheet has the spell Counterspell.
Dispel magic.
Dispel magic, thank you. Very different. But still pertinent to the situation.
Equally is helpful here.
Niles, as you enter the room and see the situation continuing to unfold, you recall times in the chapel where you have used that spell. Like many spells, it involves components, in this case, holy ink, used by priests of the author instead of holy water. It is used to sprinkle the area affected by minor enchantments or curses, or at least perceived curses, to cure the afflicted. It's healing, it's not harmful, but it will stain clothes.
Now, the father is still in his high chair, right, at the table?
Yeah, he hasn't entered yet. And, you know, these rituals don't really occur in homes, especially not homes where the person afflicted is currently playing the piano and wearing that lovely hand-embroidered shawl.
But your brother, on the other hand, I mean, who gives a crap, you know?
Everyone else in the room will give a crap if you sprinkle ink in his eyes, but,
My eyes? Who said anything about my eyes?
when you were charmed, I believe Niles caught it, right? When they were charmed, the glow that passed over
yeah.
their eyes.
Yeah, he's the only one that knows.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll have to be the eyes, because the
Me
glow
and
was in the
Ephraim
eyes.
knows too, I think, but Ephraim doesn't
does.
care.
Yeah.
Oh, rude, Ephraim. You're my best friend.
So that's the update on the situation. What are our boys doing?
Dancing.
How can one get enchanted ink?
You probably keep one,
I'm sure the father has some on him.
and you probably keep some on your person at all times. You never know when someone in the street will stop you and be like, I'm cursed, heal me.
It's like one of those little keychain vials that you just keep on hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like around a necklace.
Couple
Like on
doses.
a piece of, yeah.
That's how the Mormons do. That's how the Mormons do with the anointed oil. They have the little anointed oil in like a little keychain flask.
I'm assuming that it is, in fact, black.
Oh, yeah.
As pitch.
Yeah.
Now you'll remember I am a beautiful blonde.
I have thaumaturgy as well.
Now why on earth would you use that here?
I could change the color using thaumaturgy to red.
Oh.
Oh?
Now this is interesting.
Why is that? Would you rather reveal that later? I think
He wants to grade my paper.
I think that would have to be something you would attempt to do afterwards. And so far, you've been having to use resolve tokens to cast any spells, and I think I will require that for cantrips as well.
It's true. How many do you have left?
Oh no.
So use those wisely.
Okay.
You have 3 left, it looks like.
If you need more time to think about it, we can...
I think he would probably, before even casting anything, try to confront Vlad about it and be direct. And so
Okay.
You're going to have to hop into that dance.
Yeah, you can swap us out for the dance.
he will literally like cut in and be like, "Don't mind if I do," and like he'll try to start leading Vlad. At which point, I guess Sam will talk and have 2 conversations at once, or 2.
Yes.
All right, let me try this out.
Here we go. We believe in you.
Ahem. May I speak to you? Of course. How would you like to speak to me? No, I need to talk to you very quickly about what you're doing to my brother. Oh, comme dit-on, I do not understand what I am doing to your brother. But you know exactly what you're doing to him and to Georgiana. I'm afraid I do not know what you mean. And I think maybe at that point, Niles, like, I don't know, what's the rude thing to do in a dance that's not overt? Like a passive-aggressive thing
You could
to do in a
probably
dance?
step on his foot.
Step on his toes.
Yeah, why would you do that? I really need you to take away whatever you're doing to them. I would not refuse. Trying to think of what to say
In that
next.
case,
I'll save you. The dance partners swap.
yeah, I can also save you.
Oh, go ahead. You do the saving.
I jump back into the dance. I say, so sorry about that. I don't know how we got separated.
When your dance partner...
Ephraim is
Oh, go ahead. Ephraim, what's he doing?
Ephraim is very amused.
Yeah, he's just watching all this go down.
Niles, your partner is switched, and you find yourself holding hands with one Miss Leapfrog.
Now he's even more amused.
They're kind of just spinning around.
Yeah, Ephraim is extremely amused.
Good evening.
Okay, Severus.
She kind of just looks at you out of the side of her eyes as you take your places in the dance.
That's the only way for a frog to look.
As you pass by one another as the dance proceeds, and she has a moment to speak quietly when no one else can hear, she says, "I can tell when someone's having a bad evening. I think we're suffering for similar reasons."
I really don't think we are.
She glances pointedly at Georgiana.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
This is the drama I was here for.
Explain.
We are both unappreciated by the ones we love. You separate in the dance.
Who am I dancing with now? The father?
No, now it's my aunt.
Yeah,
Our aunt.
Auntie
Oh,
Agatha's
dear.
here.
Oh, hello, Auntie.
Lovely to see you, dear.
Yes, lovely to see you too.
Thank you for causing all the commotion with dear Mumsy. I can't
Of course.
tell you how much that thrilled me.
The level of uninterest in this dance is reminding me of my prom night. Like, this is... He's just like,
As wooden as possible.
Yep. And he tried to switch to the next person possible. Who's the next person?
Cam, who is he dancing with?
Ephraim. I think it's Ephraim.
He jumps in just to dance with him.
And I feel like after, like, as soon as he locks eyes with Ephraim, he does like a fancy dance, like a dance jump off move to another partner, but in doing so, he tries to knee Ephraim, like right below the belt. Like, oh, don't mind if I do. And he tries to jump to somebody else. I don't know if that lands or not. That's dependent on Cam, but
You can make him give you a resolve token if you want to get that out of him.
I gotta save those.
Right. I think when Ephraim jumps in momentarily, he's like, so, how's it going?
I'm gonna say he's gotta stick around till the end of the dance if he doesn't want to make a scene.
Me?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna cost you some reputation if you don't stick around.
Yeah.
I am the host after all.
Yeah?
This is a social function.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He's the host.
I'm not the
Yeah.
host. Oh, you're the host. Okay, he's gonna take the lead in the dance.
Ephraim follows graciously.
Oh
He's like,
my
"How-
gosh.
so, how's your little plan going?
Oh my. About as well as yours.
I beg to differ. He guides Niles into giving Ephraim a spin.
You hear the two single dwarven sisters like, oh, like just a little like swoon as they watch. Like, he's so graceful, the prince. Of course, they're doing it fairly quietly, but you can hear.
Yeah, noticeable if you're
hear.
looking. Yeah.
They're just like fanning themselves.
They're desperately trying to become the next dance partners for Ephraim.
As Ephraim spins away, the switch happens again. I think he would probably like bow to one of them.
Gives a little wink on the way out.
Sylvia or
Yeah.
Gilda? Flip a coin.
Who's richer?
Probably Gilda.
Gotta go for gold.
Yeah, Ephraim would definitely go for the gold.
And you are once again dancing with Miss Leapfrog, and she says under her breath to you, I believe that our interests are aligned, and that we could be of use to each other, Lord Worthington, in making our beloveds realize where their affections should be held.
Explain?
That's all you're saying to her.
Sorry, elaborate.
Jealousy is often the greatest indicator of a love not previously recognized.
I gotta disagree with you there. He switches partners again.
Now you and I end up together.
Okay. What color is your shirt?
White. Brilliant white.
White? Okay. And elves have red blood, I'm assuming?
Yeah, with a blue, wonderful jacket and a little flower in my lapel.
Okay, he's gonna be like, well, I've been wanting to do this for a while. And he sprinkles the ink right in his face and casts the spell. And can you do thaumaturgy kind of simultaneously to make it look like a really bad nosebleed?
I will have you spend a resolve token for the dispel, a resolve token for the thaumaturgy, and a resolve token for the cover-up.
Ooh, that's all your resolve tokens, my dude.
Wait, can I do 2 instead of 3?
You can do 2 of the things instead of 3.
What color are
You gotta spend those bad boys.
Hey, Dylan.
Yeah?
What color?
My pants match my jacket.
They're white?
You have to sprinkle his eyes.
Oh, his eyes?
Yep.
Oh, my eyes.
Okay, well.
Not my eyes. My beautiful eyes. My peepers. You're gonna make me blind?
No, they're going to heal you. They will the ink causes no harm, but it will stain clothes.
Okay, well, it won't stain my eyes, so...
It won't stain your body or probably your hair.
Probably.
Yeah.
Can I sprinkle? You know what? You know
That is
what?
part of
Instead of
your
using
body.
spells, I'm gonna use good old-fashioned legwork, because based on the scene, it seems like he has a competent use of his legs. Can he trip Frederick at a good moment to send him like spiraling through a door?
Through a door?
Not like breaking through, but like into a hallway on accident.
I don't think y'all are
How
close
far
to a
away
door
is-
or a hallway.
Yeah.
Dang.
I think you're going to have to think of
okay.
something more slick or deal with the social ramifications. If you need more time to think, we can see what Ephraim is up to.
With the lovely Gilda.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Or Agatha. She's also here.
We can maybe note that Vlad, as a perfectly normal human being, is wearing a lot of black himself.
Yeah, but I can't cure him of being a vampire, right? Like that's not.
No, but you could
world.
dispel the magic he's
If
casted,
you sprinkled
perhaps.
him
Yeah.
with holy ink,
Yeah, what would happen to a vampire if you put holy ink on
With
him?
holy ink.
you know it's not the person that casts the spell or enchantment or curse that has to be sprinkled. And I don't know how much you know about vampire lore.
On the other hand, it could be hilarious.
You could certainly try.
Yeah, isn't Charm Person a concentration spell?
I think it was...
Dispel magic. It's dispel magic, and it is not.
Oh, but the vampire...
No, but charm person's concentration. If you disrupt the concentration, yeah.
But ultimately,
I don't-
we're
Yeah.
using this system in part so we don't get bogged down in all the rule booking of D&D. So he is...
And yet,
My point being is that you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone,
With
or
one ink.
uncharm 2 people with 1 ink if you just, you know...
You could certainly try.
foist it. I mean,
No, I
you
know
might
exactly what
melt,
I'm
you
gonna
might
do.
melt the vampire.
Yeah, you might cause an even worse social shenanigan, but you could try.
Namely, murder.
I know exactly what I'm going to do. Can he go back to dancing with Ephraim?
Yeah,
Okay.
if Ephraim allows it.
They change again. Yeah, they change again, and Ephraim sort of like gracefully like spins back beside Niles.
Ephraim, I'd just like to say that I understand your point of view.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I'm not at all sorry. And he kind of turns around and starts dancing with Vlad. and he's going to use one resolve token to cast Sacred Flame on
shoot.
Vlad's clothing.
Uh-oh.
Are there candles nearby?
Oh, dang. Oh, dang.
There is a fire in the fireplace.
It's medieval times. Everything's lit by candle.
Medieval
the token,
slash
sir. Spend the
Austen.
token.
Yeah, spend that token.
I
So
will gladly spend the token.
you take Vlad's hands, and each time you dance, whenever there's like a touching of hands, he's always trying to hover or like barely hold you with like his fingers, just like because it's a line dance. It's mostly like your hands pressed to each other, like each other's hands as you spin in a circle
Yeah,
or
do
whatever.
like little spins. Yeah.
Or holding hands going down the center line, whatever. But anyway, as you take his fingertips, his clothes suddenly burst into flame. The music comes to a cling, clang, clang stop. And several of the women start screaming.
And Frederick.
What does Vlad do?
At the same pitch.
Yes.
Oh, I still gotta think. Okay, Vlad. Vlad has no like social like he doesn't have the subtlety to like do anything except freak out and panic and run around trying to douse it out without hitting another vampire sensitive.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Georgiana rushes up from the piano and whips off her shawl and runs to start patting him out, like patting the fire out. What does Frederick do? Still currently charmed.
Frederick runs out of the room.
His fear cannot. His self-preservation instinct is strong. Freddy is out of there, and I'm going to say the spell's broken for him. He doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
He won't realize it until he calms down, but then he will realize
Yeah.
a spell was put on him. Georgiana, however,
Still charmed.
is going to try to rescue him.
I think. What are people's reaction? Do they see? How has this been perceived? Like, oh my gosh, he set him on fire,
He
or
spontaneously combusted.
like what is the?
Niles had to do some sort of prayer, some sort of incantation to start this. So I think right now everyone's
Flame
pretty
on.
focused on Vlad, but who would be giving him a strange look? You notice your mother in the doorway,
Yeah, Prudence,
staring
yeah.
wide-eyed at you.
I think what he's gonna do then is stare at Georgiana and
Does he?
no. Okay.
Okay.
He's gonna. What's a sacred symbol that he could like hold up? Well, I guess he doesn't know he's a vampire. I'm trying to think of like something that. Oh.
What is Ephraim doing while Sam continues to panic?
An excellent question.
Ephraim is going. He's like going across the room and grabbing a pitcher of water. I'm thinking like a probably a silver pitcher.
Yeah. Oh.
And he just runs across the room and simultaneously dumps the water on Vlad, but also just bangs him across the head with the silver pitcher.
Yes. Sometimes the plan just works out a little bit. I feel like
Ephraim's
that hurts almost as much as the fire.
Ephraim's just like, well, this. Yeah, Ephraim's just like, well, this isn't exactly what I thought he was going to do, but I guess he did something, so I should finish this up for him. Thinking about Niles.
Gosh.
I'm going to say
It's like, well, that's not where I thought this was going to go, but I guess I got to give him an A for effort. He just takes the pitcher of water and just like knocks Vlad out with it and douses the fire.
incredible.
He's like shouting something about stop, drop, and roll.
And like
Just trying
that,
to make it look like he's forcing him to the
he
ground.
saves the day with a terrible clang and a splash. Vlad is out cold, wet, and not on fire. Georgiana's shawl is also not on fire, but she, having also rushed to the scene, is soaked. And she stares wide-eyed down at Vlad. She stumbles backwards and catches herself with her hand against the fireplace. She looks behind her. She looks at Ephraim. And she rushes from the room.
Ooh.
Oh, Niles is going right after her.
Fred runs back into the room and then sees everyone's running
Does
out.
he, like, shoulder check his fiancé as they pass each other?
I don't think he's that bad.
He manages to step out of her way as she squish, 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 rocks quickly.
Yeah, he kind of sees her running and then looks back into the room and like makes eye contact with Ephraim and then looks back after her, sees Niles going after her, and then also follows the two of them.
Ephraim, like, kind of collects himself, kind of gives a look at Radigan, like, shift gears. It's like, gives some sort of motion to, like, stop what he's doing and go after Niles and Georgiana.
He holds up the many knives that he'd been pickpocketing from the Dwarven sisters. And then the rats crawl back into the sleeves with the knives. And he does his little wobbly man thing after them. While they're running off, what is Ephraim doing with his very concerned party guests?
Like I said, he sort of straightens his lapels and, like, fixes his hair. He's like, is everybody okay?
There is a general consensus of concern but also a lot of people praising your efforts to rescue this poor gentleman. Suddenly the two Nickelback sisters are calling poor Vlad, but somehow they seem to be complimenting you as they say it. But
What is Pierre doing?
Pierre,
Pierre's probably dragging Vlad out of the room and down to the basement.
Don't worry, I got it.
Like slamming him against everything on accident, just like the worst, like the least.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, master. Oh, no.
He's just dragging him by his ankle.
I have a headache.
You just hear, like, as they go down the stairs, you just hear a thump, 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 and Vlad's head just hitting every single stair.
Lord Leapfrog is also like complimentary of good Mr. Ephraim, but also contemplates, where did such a spontaneous burst of flame? How could such a thing occur? And Agatha steps forward, adjusting her. Oh, does Ephraim say something? Because Agatha steps forward
Ephraim
and
has
also
an
attempts to start speaking, but
Ephraim has an excuse ready. It's like, well, my dear friend Vlad is unfortunately fond of wearing too much cologne. I'm afraid his clothes must have been somewhat made more flammable by the sheer amount of Drakkar Noir he prefers to wear.
there are some giggles, mostly from the Dwarven sisters.
It seems like he and Niles ventured a little bit too close to the fireplace, and 2 + 2 made 4.
Everyone seems to accept that, for the most part. Agatha,
Phew.
They're like, wow, he can do math, too.
he's just so smart and multi-talented. Agatha is giving you a cold stare.
What else is new?
Ephraim's just like, oh, this woman who forced her way into my party doesn't like me.
Tough luck.
I imagine you, Ephraim, looking back and meeting her gaze with a smile. Now we'll go outside to where Georgiana has retreated to the street.
I feel like it's that song from Phantom, like, why have you brought us here?
Except she's just, not the street. I'm sure there's a small garden in this city. Estate, this little...
Oh, I was hoping you'd say, like,
Well, there's-
stairs up to, like, the balcony or something. I don't know, something weird.
Ooh, a balcony is nice. She'll go to a balcony.
Yeah, she would have. I feel like she might have retreated to one of the bedrooms or something.
There's some balcony off a hallway on the second floor, which she has retreated to try to collect herself, followed by the two Worthington brothers.
And Radigan.
And Radigan.
Who has instructions to find her a clean, dry set of clothes.
I imagine she rushes out to the balcony, and the brothers follow after. Radigan starts to, and then, reverses course, but his bottom half does first. And heads to a bedroom to look for clothes.
What on earth happened?
What is the scene? Does she know we're there yet? Are we all together, or are we kind of watching her kind of settle?
I was
I bet
imagining
just
you were
like
all
one,
together.
then the other, then the other. Yeah, just like following quickly in succession.
Unless Niles wants to stop Frederick or anything like that.
I feel like Niles, because in this world, magic is also kind of like the medical part of it as well. He would kind of like do the thing that Gandalf does in The Return of the King and like grab, like very petitely grab both sides of Georgiana's head and kind of like look deep into her eyes to see like if there's still like the possession stuff
Do you
there.
have concussions?
I think you would attempt to touch her, and she would push your hand away.
Does that give me any clues as to if she's still possessed?
She does
Not
not
really.
look happy, so you think she's good. She pushes your hand away, and she turns away from you.
What happened? Suddenly you were dancing, and then he was on fire, and then I think I was charmed, and then maybe her as well, since we were both, kind of sitting weirdly with him on the couch.
You think?
Georgiana
You think what? This is not the time for sass.
covers her face with her hands. Continue.
He's probably a monster of some kind, of a mimic, or
Okay, well that's a bit
he's
extreme.
probably a mummy.
Niles, this is not the time. I know you don't like Ephraim. I know you don't like his friends. This is not the time to cast accusations like this. Clearly, he did something. Monster is probably a strong word. But did you catch him on fire? What happened?
Mouse goes, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
It all happened so quickly.
Yeah, it all happened so quickly. I have no idea.
Go check on Mom. I'll take care of Georgiana.
He kind of looks.
You heard me.
He looks over towards Georgiana and just says, "I am sorry," and he kind of walks out of the room.
She continues to stare off.
Yeah, I just sit on the bed next to her.
You're on a balcony. No bed here.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I sit on the bench next to her.
She's standing. There's a bench up against the wall. She's standing, hands
Yeah,
on the
she's
railing.
standing. I sit next. Yeah.
Yeah. Do a little awkward sit.
Facing the other way.
I just sit and wait.
That was humiliating.
We haven't really had any good scenes between Frederick and
I know, that's been
Georgiana.
deliberate. Yeah. That's one word for it. Yeah. Sorry that happened. I don't think either of us were in control of ourselves, but worked out for the best is the wrong word, but it worked out. I mean, we can get you a change, and we can go talk to Ephraim about Vlad. I'm sure he'll be able to kick him out. He's always been a tight buddy of mine.
I don't wish to speak to Ephraim right now.
I'll take care of it. You don't have to.
Thank you.
Do you want me to go find some clothes for you, or what can I do best here?
I'd like to leave.
Okay, we can do that. I'll go talk to him, and then I'll meet you outside, okay?
Her silence is the only yes you get.
That works for me. And I head back in.
As you leave the room, Radigan is coming in with a
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Radigan.
a change of dress.
Thank you.
It's I hesitate to call it the latest in fashion, but it's also not like dowdy or anything.
Yeah, it's perfectly
appropriate.
usable.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Radigan. I'll take you to her.
Radigan just sort of like gives like a floppy salute, and then just turns around and
Yeah, I'll take it to her. Thank you. And I go in and just lay it on the bench where I was sitting, and then go back out without a word.
She does not acknowledge you, entering or leaving. You see her standing, looking out over the city, with her arms wrapped around herself.
I head back down to confront Ephraim.
Back down in the sitting room.
Ephraim is sort of he's not like, trying to blow the whole thing off, but he's sort of trying to be conciliatory towards the guests and sort of gently get things back into a more pleasant mood.
I feel like Niles comes in and, like, kind of like when someone faints and, like, they go out of the room, like, everyone kind of waits for one of the people who went out to come back and kind of report. And he comes down and kind of brushes himself
Does
off.
this happen to you often?
Yeah, a lot. And he kind of, I feel like everyone would probably look to him for, like, what's happening? Is she okay? And he kind of just says, we should be happy to have Miss Georgiana, what's her last name?
Dennison.
Dennison in our midst. When our dear colleague caught on fire, thanks to our rather, what's that word that means, like, kind of like not mindless, but like not really paying attention. Reckless. We could do reckless dancing. The only person to come to his aid besides Ephraim, the first person to come was Miss Georgiana. So I do pray that you pardon this dear woman. She was only trying to help another hurting soul. To embarrass her would be a unethical, to say the least.
Disservice.
Thank you, Ephraim.
Miss Leapfrog speaks up and says, "Of course, that was incredibly brave of Miss Georgiana. I've never seen someone so quick to react, except for Mr. Ephraim, of course. It was truly impressive." And a chorus of like, "Yes, so brave," and quiet, positive comments about Miss Georgiana are passed around the room.
I do fear, never mind. He doesn't say anything.
Ephraim sort of gives him an oddly un-Ephraimish shoulder squeeze.
Agatha.
And then
Not Agatha, excuse me. Go ahead.
Agatha.
What is Ephraim doing? Finish that. Not Agatha. I meant to say Prudence.
After he squeezes Niles' shoulder, he kind of steps back to the center of the room. He steps over to like a
to the fireplace and puts his
credenza.
foot up on the fireplace.
No, he steps over to a credenza and gets a decanter of some sort of alcohol. Wine, we'll say. Like a fortified wine, maybe. And he's like, "Does anybody care for a drink? I'm certain that I would like one."
There are many yeses, and positive, pleasant conversation is struck up. Prudence squeezes your other shoulder in a very mumsy-like way. That is to say, with fingernails. And she whispers in Niles' ear, "Don't think I didn't catch that little misuse of your holy magic, Lord Worthington. Are you trying to bring our family name down into the dirt as soon as you have some semblance of control over it?
He kind of leans back and just says, "Dearest mother, you saw what I could do to Vlad. Do you really want to know what I can do to you?"
Oh, shoot. Yikes.
My dear boy, I'd like to see you try.
I still have resolve tokens!
She squeezes a little harder and leans in a little closer and says, "You may have magic gifted to you by the author." And she does the holy gesture, which is, as we know, fist bumping your chest and pointing upwards to the sky.
You gotta double tap your chest, kiss your fist, and point to the sky.
There we go. She does that. And then continues whispering, "You may have magic gifted to you by the author, but I have far greater power to ruin every bit of reputation as a clergyman you've crafted in this daft town of ours. Watch yourself, son, and take care of the family name." And she gives you a little kiss on the cheek and walks away.
Oh, Boise.
Can I spend a resolve token?
What do you want to do?
I want to have not only been having Radigan taking things out of people's purses, but also leaving rats in strategic places so that they can listen into conversations.
What conversation in particular? This one?
Yes, basically anything to do with Niles, and especially anything to do with Prudence.
All right, spend that resolve token. As she walks
We spend them.
away out of her little bag that rests on the nook of her elbow, a little field mouse pokes out its tiny nose, and we see it give a little wink to the camera and snuggle back in.
Of course, Ephraim doesn't get a report instantly, so he doesn't know the conversation has gone on yet. But
Are there any other...
this is
Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought.
for later use.
Yeah. Any other little scenes that y'all want to happen at the party? Or shall I close it?
I am personally good.
Oh, didn't we still need to have a confrontation between Frederick and Ephraim?
Oh, yeah, no, I do
yes.
need to go talk to him. Yeah. That's right. That's why I went downstairs. Yeah, I'll kind of, after he does that whole speech to console everybody, I'll come in and find him and be like, I've never asked this before because, you're my friend and whatever else, but what's up with Vlad?
Where are you having this conversation real quick?
I just kind of find him after...
Chilling in the sitting room, so do you keep him in the room, or...?
I kind of just, pull him aside, but, in the same room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, I think while Freddy starts up the conversation, Ephraim is, pouring himself another drink and then pouring Freddy a drink as well.
Yeah.
Yes, Vlad is a complicated man.
That's a word for it, yeah.
One could say mischievous.
Now,
Yeah, we'll go with mischievous.
mischievous implies a certain innocence behind actions. How does enacting control over another being qualify as mischievous?
Well, and unfortunately, as you know, I am one who likes to be in control of situations myself.
Certainly.
Afraid I can't really control Vlad as such. Of course, as soon as I realized what was going on, I struck him across the head with a water pitcher.
Yeah, I saw
trying
that.
to resolve things.
Mm-hmm. But why have him in your home?
Well, let's just say he's been a great help to me in the past, and I owed him a favor. And then he puts actually both hands on Frederick's shoulders, and he says, "Listen, I will talk to Vlad and make sure that nothing like this happens to you or your dear Georgiana ever again. For your part, I would love for you to send my deepest apologies to the Lady Georgiana. Let her know that she can keep the dress and that my home is ever both of yours if you should need it."
Understood. Not sure how receptive she'll be to that right now, given the situation. But I kind of look back upstairs where she's at, and we'll We'll talk later about this, but
Of course. And I will have Krusty. I will have Krusty pull the carriage around to take the two of you home.
thank you.
We do a quick cut out where we see Krusty tossing things out of carriages onto the street as he rifles through the insides. Well then, as the party is wrapping up, the wine has been drank, and it seems like at least the Worthingtons will be heading home soon.
Yeah, we're dipping.
There's a sudden crash as through the window, several armored figures burst into the sitting room, armed to the teeth. A rogue with a mask over
downstairs?
their face. You're in that room, yeah. You're there in the sitting room, probably turning
I give
to
the
go
same
get
high-pitched
Georgiana.
scream that I gave earlier.
A rogue draws a bowstring, a fighter wields an axe, and a wizard with a stoat on her neck kind of climbs into the window as like trying to lift herself up into the window after them. And the dwarven fighter,
They like
go ahead,
they like the rogue, the fighter, and
the bard. That's it.
and the bard all like crash through the window, and then you see Thelka just like with her wizard staff just like clearing the glass out of the window before carefully like slowly climbing through.
A little help back here. She can't quite lift herself, but before someone can help her, the dwarven fighter yells, "We're here to collect the bounty on the werewolf!"
Wait, what?
Behind Frederick, we see Vlad briefly step into view with like a piece of meat on the big bump on his head. His eyes widen, and he just slowly slides back out of view.
What is the meaning of this?
Don't worry, citizen.
Friends, you'll find no werewolf here. Wherever did you hear of such a thing?
We see the two dwarven sisters glancing awkwardly at each other. What are you talking about? There's a werewolf right there! And the dwarf points at one Mr. McPherson, who leaps to his feet, looking even more nervous than he has the whole night. He turns to the woman he loves and says, "I'm sorry." And he rushes and jumps through another window. After him!
Gosh.
We gotta collect that bounty! It's got so much money! The bard strums his string and begins singing about money as they burst through a third window after Mr. McPherson.
So many windows.
Thelka has finally managed to climb in.
Ephraim?
Ephraim looks at Thelka and he's like, "A werewolf?"
She sighs deeply. "I'm so sorry. I'll get them into this wizard tower eventually. They keep taking extra jobs for extra money, and, well, whoever was worried about a werewolf had a lot to spare. I'm sorry. We'll cover the windows. I'm sure I can get..."
I run up to her real quick and I say, Hi, Thelka, right?
Yes.
Yes. Any updates on the investment?
Oh, yes, we may be able to give you some once we get this werewolf bounty taken care of. Apparently
All
it's
right.
supposed to pay really, really well.
Good news.
If we can go catch him, we just aren't super familiar with the town.
Yeah, good luck. No, that's Mr. McPherson, yes. He lives on, and I give her the street.
Would you mind? I'm sorry, but could you show me the way?
I am rather preoccupied right now. We've had a kind of an incident here.
Are you sure?
But yes, I'm 100% sure. I'm sure you guys are competent and can figure it out. I have other responsibilities to tend to right now.
All right, I'm sorry. I won't take up more of your time.
In true NPC fashion.
I can help.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it gives them like a random landmark in town to look for.
I think Niles like, I'll do it. And he kind of puts father.
Yeah, I don't want to be around here anyway. Yeah.
He puts father in the baby Bjorn and exit.
It's not a season of Minions and Misfits without a mention of the baby Bjorn.
Thelka gestures and says, "Let's just go back out the door. I think we'll be able to catch their trail."
I touch Ephraim's shoulder on the way out. I'm like, I'll send you my window guy.
I greatly appreciate it, Freddy. And he just downs the rest of the decanter of wine.
We have one final shot of Ephraim in front of the fireplace and the portrait chugging some wine as his guests filter out of the room, gossiping about all the strange events of the night. And thus ends our novel phase for this time. It is time for the reputation phase.
Gosh.
Let's take a look
It's
at
the
how
rep
things
phase.
are
How's
doing.
this gonna go for you, Niles?
Not great.
How's this gonna go for everybody?
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't think anyone gets out of this very well.
For the first time, I feel like I actually did okay on this one.
Y'all were all doing too good of a job of not making waves in the last couple novel phases, so
Yeah.
we had to, I had to
Waves
shake
came
that up.
regardless.
Waves or flames?
Indeed, indeed. Let's see, where is the reputation page? I meant to have that pulled up before this.
It's on characters.
Convenience. All right, so who wants to go first in assessing their character?
This will be easy. I can go first. So he gains at least 1 negative. Would you say 2 for the whole event or 1 for the whole event?
Remind me what the qualifications are again?
Acted in contravention of society's conventions, acted on desire in a way that compromised your duty or morality, and then publicly displayed strong emotions. I feel like he kind of held that one down. He did not do that one.
I'm just gonna give you 1 negative tag. Yeah, because
all right.
you were weird in society, but you did not break your morals to act on desire, as far as I'm aware.
He definitely snapped at his mom, which sounded more evil than I intended. It was more like kind of just like, oh my gosh, like someone who's just over it. Like I will.
Yeah, you're in the midst of it. Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
can't-
it was
I
not-
can't with you right now. Yeah.
It was probably not a threat he would ever make good on. Like he
No.
wouldn't. Okay, just to be clear, he's not
No,
like
he was
going
just
all evil.
he was
Yeah.
just in the midst of the frustrations. He's like, literally, if I can do this, I can do a lot of things. Get out of my way right now.
I'm guessing he's tried to make the same threat at least once before, and probably gotten a similarly squashing response.
Yeah, and I guess it wouldn't impact his societal expectation. Like,
It was quiet too.
yeah, and they because neither one of them would have said what they said out loud to anybody else. But he'd either come off as dull or useless. I think. Which one do y'all think is more apt?
Not dull.
Probably useless.
Yep, that's fair.
Somehow you got this guy set on fire. Good job.
Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah, I'm out of touch and useless. That's fair.
How many tags do you have now? Just 2?
I just have 2.
Okay. Let's go with Freddy.
Yeah. I think it's kind of steady all around. Yeah.
Ooh, before you do that, sorry. Would he be? Would him following Georgiana into the room count as well?
I don't think so. You're the priest, and someone left the room in distress.
Okay, fair. I just was making sure because I know, like, especially in like that era, like being alone with a woman could be scandalous. So I didn't know.
Well,
like,
you and I
what...
both followed her, so
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And I think while there is still lots of opportunity for scandal and intrigue, it is a bit softer here. And you are the
Yeah.
brother of her fiance, so nothing romantic could at all be happening. No.
No,
No,
never.
not at all.
No, mm-mm.
Of course
Yeah.
not.
Certainly.
So
Yeah, no,
Freddy-
honestly, I think, like, I don't know if there's a negative or positive for mine. Like, I feel like he was very neutral throughout the whole thing.
I think he came off as a buffoon, but I
Yeah.
don't know if that impacts anything.
Yeah, that's the usual, though.
But I think a little extra buffoon with this social pariah of Vlad de Baguette.
That's fair.
Someone you were fraternizing with, and then I feel like I don't know if this actually contradicts like the idea
You
that
could call
like,
this, like, shamed or embarrassed the family name kind of a thing.
Oh yeah, I feel like he very much came off as like he probably should have been the first one to like defend or whatever Georgiana.
When he
yeah,
ran
yeah.
too,
He was-
yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a big move. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna give you a negative.
Yeah, we'll say
tag.
shamed or embarrassed the family name. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll take that. What are my negative options? Let's see.
2 negative tags for the Worthington boys.
Tasteless.
Tasteless, yeah.
I have 2. Doesn't Dylan? Don't you have 3 now?
That's my third, yeah.
Ooh,
Oy.
boys. Okay, we'll come back to you to trigger the reputation condition. For now, you look at your options and see which fits best.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Ephraim, let's evaluate his behavior.
So, if anything, I would say Ephraim presumed to order, instruct, or make a demand of someone of higher rank. That would have been last time his conversation with Niles, who is technically a higher rank than he is.
Ooh.
Ephraim is not a lord. He's just well-to-do. So his conversation with Niles, he definitely sort of butted up against the limits of societal rules, essentially.
That was the
Or
private
the limits of
conversation, though.
the class difference.
That was a private conversation.
Okay.
But I still
if
think
anything,
he's gonna.
your reputation just took a hit from the actual like craziness of the party.
Right.
He did do some cool stuff in there. So let's see what the other conditions are. Because I feel like he might get I think he probably should get a positive tag from here.
Yeah, probably one and one.
I think it was more of a net positive because he was being heroic.
Okay.
Yeah, you really saved it in the end.
Yeah.
I suppose he acted in service of duty or murder.
Yep.
Well, no, not that compromised his desires.
No.
Well, actually, yeah. If his desire is to humiliate Niles, then
Right.
he
you did not do that. So,
then
Yeah.
he cut the whole
you
debacle
took the
short.
heat. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
took the literal heat off of him by being like, "Oh, it was the fireplace."
Yeah, because you actively defended him in public there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that.
As his
Right.
mom was about to be like, "This
shatter him.
priest." Yes.
Priest.
So let's get you a positive tag.
Priest. Positive tag. We got clever, industrious, tough.
I'd say clever is the situation here.
I almost say tough
Yeah.
because the crowd perceives him as the person who kind of like took out
That's
the
true.
fire,
You did like handle things. So tough
Yeah.
would also
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
well.
like heroic.
And I also feel like after that conversation, like Niles also perceives him as being tougher than he
That's
might have
true.
originally,
Yeah.
because they have not had like a frank conversation like that before.
That's fair. Yeah.
Ephraim has always chosen to needle him at a distance, but once they got up close and he kind of actually like bared his fangs a little bit, no pun intended on the whole Vlad situation. And I was just like, oh, he's not just bullying me, like he's actually
Is he a
person
baddie?
right. This is actually somebody who is, what's the word I'm looking for?
Formidable.
Yeah, this is a formidable person.
This might not be a grunt. This might be the boss.
Yeah.
That will be my third positive tag.
Nice.
Oh no.
Dylan, do you know your negative condition?
I do.
Or?
I do. I have two options for the one I'm looking at. So the one I'm looking at is fracture, which is someone close to me refuses to talk to me. I would argue either Georgiana or Niles, and I want to know which one we think is best here.
Honestly, I don't think Niles would shun him for any reason. Like,
That's
there's
fair. So
nothing-
Georgiana, yeah.
So it's
Niles is annoyed,
serves-
but it's not anything out of the normal, honestly, between
Yeah.
him and Frederick.
So it's called fracture. Someone close to you is appalled by your behavior and refuses to talk to you. And yeah, we'll say it's Georgiana.
dang. Alrighty. So I believe you removed those 3 tags, and you just have this
Oh, thank
condition
God.
now.
I'll take that.
Do I remove the positive tags from earlier?
Your positive condition does disappear now.
Ooh.
It's like
Wait,
you're
so
still
I have no-
Lord. That has not changed, but like the freshness of it.
Yeah.
Fresh.
So do I?
It's worn
So on my sheet, do I erase the tags or the reputation?
All of the above.
Oh no!
Right? Yeah, you remove the condition
that's
and
correct.
the tags. They have been spent.
Ooh.
Gotta build them back up.
In that case, I think there is a little bit of a positive tag then, because on the other hand,
Devoted.
on the other hand, he did totally act in service of duty or morality that compromised, like, because his goal has always been to boost up Georgiana, and so he went and made a whole spiel about how she's such a hero. Would that count as anything?
It didn't, like, you were helping someone else, but it didn't go against your desires or.
Yeah, there was no sacrifice made. Sure.
Okay, what?
It was a cool
and I
thing,
guess
though.
setting someone on fire, but
Yeah. No, you enjoyed that.
yeah, I did. I like fire. Okay, yeah, no, he does not come out of this positive.
Okay, so I've got as my positive.
Again, Ephraim wins.
As my positives, I have unexpected connection, a famous, wealthy, or aristocratic connection you made abroad arrives in town. Create them as a connection. While this condition is active, you remain their favorite. Or I have quite indebted. Choose a connection until this condition is erased.
Ooh.
This connection is in your debt for good deeds you performed while away.
Ooh.
I hate this.
Well, so no, it's not for it's connection that is in my debt for things that happen off screen. So I can't like make Niles be in my debt
Right,
for
right.
defending him.
Oh no, I was thinking like the leapfrogs.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I was thinking about, too.
True, he has been.
You've been
But
kind of
also,
schmoozing.
technically,
Yeah,
if it's saying connection, and we're gonna let it be
Oh,
open
true,
to
true.
other
But that's our, like,
random
guys
characters
below.
But the connection of yours, we have not actually seen face to face one Lord Joffrey Schmezos.
Yeah, Bezoshire.
The thing is, I thought about that as an unexpected connection, but that would not be a positive for Ephraim at all.
To have him in your debt?
Do you want it to be my mom?
Oh, to have him in my debt.
Yeah, it wasn't
what
that
would he be indebted to me for?
But also, it does say off-screen. I would say it can be someone on screen too, if there's any useful or powerful people you want to be in your debt.
He could say
So I
that
was think-
Niles is in his debt because he has blackmail on Niles. So that's a version of that.
Do we also, speaking of connections, do we want to change John Willoughby to potentially a leapfrog or something, just because we really haven't had him in here?
I don't really think it makes sense for Joffrey to be indebted to Ephraim for any reason. I think that's one of the things that Ephraim hates about Joffrey.
What about Miss Anna Kendrick of the Banana Anna Kendricks?
Yeah, I'm thinking unexpected connection, and we make a new connection for somebody that we haven't met yet from the.
I like
city.
it. I like it.
I like it. I like it. Do you want to plot that more in between chapters?
Yeah, I think that would be the best way to do that.
Yeah. And Dylan, you can talk to me about potentially swapping out your connection
we can
if you are
talk
interested.
about that between sessions.
Yeah. Can discuss between me, you, and Cam.
Because we have so many interesting NPCs already, and he is not.
We loved his one appearance, but we do have all of these others to play with.
Yeah.
So maybe
Who plays him?
Cam does, and maybe it would probably be not getting rid of John Willoughby, but just adding in another as an intentional connection for you.
Yeah.
But with that,
Potentially this new appearance person, since,
yeah. Next chapter, we will resume with the rumor and scandal phase to find out how society is changing.
Oh, gosh, it's gonna be so gnarly after this party.
Oh no.
Rumor and Scandal's gonna be so bad.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Hey everybody, Cam here. Thanks for listening to Minions and Misfits. If you like what you heard, don't forget to check out our socials. The links are down in the description. And please, leave us a review on whatever app you use to listen to your podcast. It'll help us reach more people who can enjoy the episode that you just listened to. See you next time.